Welcome to Kung Fu Hour number 2. You guys are going to get one continuous video while TikTok's going to get 3, so I'm going to have to stop and periodically. That's why the phone is in front of you and on your screen. If at all possible, I will try to share these to Instagram, if at all possible. So you're going to hear the TikTok intro, and then we're going to get started. Alright? Okay, TikTokers, for the first time in a long time, I'm going to do a night show. You're going to get 3 videos if we're lucky. Unless I can get it all done in one, I'm going to do some practice weapons demonstration. So, for the record, please don't attempt this at home, especially if you have no martial art training. I'm going to do nunchucks, I'm going to do chain, and I'm going to do the fucking commas, and then through the power of the imagination, I'm going to use the commas as the tonfas, because I don't have a pair of tonfas. It would be great if I had some tonfas, so if anybody owns some tonfas and they want to come off of them for a really cheap price, and it's in my price range, I'll be more than willing to buy them. Thank you. So let's get it on. These are practice nunchucks. They are styrofoam, but in the right hands, even a practice weapon can be deadly. Do not ever forget that. And FYI, I prefer chains over rope. Rope's easier to fix, though, if something goes wrong. Don't nobody steal my fucking signature move that you just saw. So glad I didn't hit the phone with that, eh? Damn. Dropped it. Better drop it than hit myself with it. Okay, we might be able to get this in one. Because I'm old and I'm tired. Alright, so chain's got to be a little bit further. And it's got to be in half. Now normally at full range, you don't have any worries unless the people you're fighting are superheroes. Because this is beyond striking distance. For the record, that was a fuck up. Knowing how to stop your chain is very important. I was better in my 30s. Nice to see I barely lost a step. Okay, looks like I making it all in one. So, do's and don'ts of commas. 1, do this, block, then strike. Don't do this, block, strike, spin it. Now you know why. Now that'll always be a lesson that your weapon should never leave your hand, even when training. Boom, boom, correct. Boom, boom. Now you know why you don't do that. So remember, block, strike, strike, not. Block, strike, strike, spin it, and strike. Don't do that. Save that shit for the movies. Block, strike, strike, correct. Block, strike, yay. See how I lost that, but I was fast enough to catch it? Boom, boom. That's going to get you killed. Versus boom, 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 boom. Remember, these are close quarter weapons. You're not going to get the chance to block, stab, pull out, spin it. And that's also going to happen. You don't want to do that. You only want to keep the shit simple. Block, strike, strike, strike until they're done. Not block, strike, spin it, and strike. Looks cool though. Block, strike, spin it. See how well that goes? That could hurt you. See it again? Block, strike, pull it out. Not safe. Block, strike, pull it out. Not safe. Block, strike, safe. And if it gets caught, it's block, strike, push him off. Get the other guy. Boom. Push him off. These are supposed to be blades. When they go in, they don't come right back out. You have to pull them out. Commas. They're not toys. Boom, boom. Here, not this. Boom, boom. Because that's why. I just lost all my hands. All my fingers. Boom, boom. Correct? Boom. Even though it looked cool, incorrect. So just remember that. Boom, 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 boom. Close quarter combat. From something that used to be a garden tool. Boom, 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 boom. Incorrect. Again, say that for the movies. Looks cool and all. Now, through the magic of my imagination, we are going to use commas as tonfas. I'm an outside to inside guy versus an inside to outside guy. You will figure out what works for you. But for me, this is dangerous because if you don't get full extension, you're going to break your own rib before you hit the guy that you're trying to hit. So full extension, you're good. Full extension, you're good. Not full extension, you miss. That was a full extension, I'm sorry. But if you don't get that thing out, it's going to rub off your rib like that. Hopefully you guys can see it as it rubs off my ribs. It's very, very bad for the guy using the tonfa. Now, these are not real tonfas. Remember, we said we're using the power of my imagination to use these tonfas. So I'm not an inside to outside guy. That's this. Versus I am an outside to inside guy, which is that. All right? So for me, block, strike, block, strike. Now, block, strike, strike, block, strike, strike. Now you'll find the combos that work. Boom, block, boom, boom. Tonfas are more fun than commas, by the way. Less dangerous on you getting your hands cut off. Boom, 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 boom. Now, almost lost my grip. That's why I don't do that. So it'd be like, I don't like that. This could catch you in the chin, mess your whole day up. You don't ever want to be the guy that chin checks himself. Okay? So I'm going to remove the gloves and do some bound fighting. Do not, under any circumstances, without training, attempt the stuff you are about to see. Run out of time. And yeah, before anybody says anything, I am going to wash my hair tomorrow. Okay? Because tomorrow will be Sunday. For YouTube, you won't see these videos until Sunday. Okay, so understand with your hands in front, it's easier to defend yourself. Block, 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 or high, medium, low with knee, and then low. All right? Same on the other side. High, medium, mid-high with knee, low. You need to know those because in front, you have a fighting chance. Behind you, unless you're a contortionist who can pop your shoulders and take it over there or jump through, I ain't 20 years old, so that shit ain't happening. So this is my blocking range. So I'm going to need to squat into blocking because that's a safety issue. Block. If you're going to like lift up to block, always remember that your foot is vulnerable and it can be taken from under you. And then they're going to ground and pound your ass to dust. So you might want to keep that shit in mind. Now, I've been bound fighting since I was 12. I don't recommend this shit. You're never going to use it, but it doesn't hurt to know that you can do it. But what you're not going to do is this. Get those off your balance. You also shouldn't do this. This outweighs you. Get those off your balance. And if you land on your face while recording a TikTok, we're all going to laugh. Especially me. So we're going to have to make another video. I hate to do this to you, but we have to do part 2. I can get more in depth in part 2 with bounds, do's and don'ts. So we'll do the back part first with behind your back, and then we'll do the front part. If you're on YouTube, you're probably seeing this on a Sunday or a Monday. So you guys know the drill. Thank you for watching. And for TikTok, I'll be back. Oh boy, 87%. I need to go back real quick and post this. I'm gonna type that in. Oh, come on. Really, motherfucker? We're gonna make that bright yellow. First time. A very long time. Shit. Sorry, y'all. Oh, come on. Copy. Make it smaller so it's not in the sight. All right. We're almost done. Don't worry. I'm sweating like a motherfucker. So good thing after I get all this shit in the house, I'm going straight to the shower. And there's a bug crawling on me. All right, let's get it. Is it recording? No, it is not. Oh, come on! You guys on YouTube are gonna laugh your ass off at this. There it is. Okay, TikTokers, this is for educational purposes. I send warnings, not invitations. Do not attempt. So, before we get into the nitty-gritty of what you've seen in video 1, if it is posted. If not, it's posting now at the time of recording. And if you want to see everything that you missed, you're going to have to go to my YouTube channel, Kung Fu Havok number 2, either late Sunday or early Monday. Just depends on how I feel when I get up tomorrow morning, because nothing's getting posted tonight, but this video here on TikTok. So, the thing about fighting with your hands bound, so you can see, your range of motion. If you're not that flexible and this is it, adapt. So, if they're coming at you, adapt. And you're going to have to adapt. You are not going to do the following kicks, and hopefully I won't land on my face or break anything, because I'm 52. So you're not going to do a reverse tornado. That's this. You're not going to do a standard tornado. And you're not going to do a jumping, spinning back kick. Okay? The reason for that is, quite simply put, there's my hand. The balance is off. Now, if you compare that to what you're about to see, which you still should not do, which is a reverse tornado kick. Regular tornado kick. Not bad for 52, huh? I ain't 52 yet, though. Couple of months. Let's see. Jumping, spinning back kick. With your hands tied behind you, your balance is shifted by about 35%. Which means, if you're top heavy, you're going to get fucked up. I happen to be as skinny as a stick, except for in my stomach. Proof not lying. I'm working on losing that weight, though. Hopefully by September, I'll be back to 135. I have more nights like this. I can do more videos like this. No promises, though. So we're going to teach you your escape routes in this video. That's it. While your hands are bound behind you, we're going to teach you what you need to remember and how you need to escape. So, this is my left, this is my right. I will not be able to remind you again. So, if the door's on my left, I want to kick my opponent to my right. Make sense? So that way I can escape. I want to do an outside to inside crescent kick because that feels more comfortable for me. So he's running at me and I need to go to my left. He's coming. Boom! I sent him over this way, pop my hip, I'm out. Okay? Same thing, only I need to go to my right. So I'm going to do an outside to inside crescent kick once again. And I'm going to pop my hip and I'm going to go to the right. Demonstration, he's coming at me. Boom! I'm out. Now, being there's a hole right here, I need to be careful. In the event that he ducks, you're probably fucked. So, time your kick perfectly. If you have to, then don't use that. And just use a push kick, because it's probably the safest kick if you don't have a lot of fighting experience. It is more than likely the safest kick. He's running at you. Boom! You want it in the gut. Not anywhere else but the gut. You want to slow him down long enough so that you can get the fuck out. Now, if you have to do a push kick and he bends over, if you're fast enough, the next thing to follow should be a knee. So, boom, you pushed him out, he's gone down. Bring your knee up immediately. Now, if your hands are tied in front, you'd have a better chance at locking your hands around the back of his head and giving him his just desserts. Now, if you have to do a side kick, you want to make sure you remember where your door. My door is over there. So he's coming, boom. Okay, I got him that way. I slowed him down. Now I got to get back into position because I need to put him where I can get to that door without him being able to stop me. So he comes again, boom, boom. Don't do that one. Just do the first one and then get the fuck out. But if the second one is needed, then do the second one. Because some people are just fucking tough. So, you know, you go side kick him, boom. You know, get in position, boom. Now if he goes down, you're cool. You're gold. So pop your hips and get the fuck out of Dodge. If he doesn't go down, that second kick that I did a few seconds ago, which would be not this one, boom, side step, side kick, I got back in position, boom, boom. Now, if you're lucky and if you're strong enough, that punk bitch went down. If you're unlucky and you're not strong enough, or in the events that you missed, prepare for the beating of your life. That's the reality of fighting. You've missed both of those kicks, but you got the side kick. That side kick better be strong enough to put him down. Which is why I mostly say, if it's me and my hands are behind me, I'm going to rely on the inside to outside crescent kick only. Yeah, so it's only going to be this. Boom! I know my crescent kick is strong enough to put him down, or at least slow him down, long enough for me to get to the door. The problem with getting to the door is, make sure it's unlocked and you can reach the fucking handle before he recovers. Okay? Same thing with the other side. Now let's say you don't know karate like talk about it. And let's say your door's over that way, but you know how to do an inside to outside crescent kick. It's basically this, but you're coming from the inside. So he's coming at you, boom! As long as your door's over that way, you're good. You don't want to put him between you and the door. Door's over this way, same kick, left side, well, right side for me. Boom! I got him over there, I'm out. Now, sometimes the crescent kicks are great. Sometimes they're not very strong. Kind of depends on your leg strength. So, train leg day, people. Now, as far as this kick, don't do it. It's a jumping front kick, not the crane kick, because my hands are tied behind my back, but you're probably going to call it the crane kick, but it's actually a jumping front kick, depending on the style that you're doing. Boom! If you miss, you're done. D-U-N-E, done. We don't want that. You're also not going to try the flying dragon kick, because you're going to be in the air, and you're going to be done. If he sidestep, he ridge hands you, you land on your arms the wrong way, they're both broken, and so is your face. So you're going to have to learn how to adapt. Adapting with your hands tied is very fucking important. You will probably never use anything that you've seen in these videos as long as you're breathing. I don't think you live La Vida Loca. But if you do, it's nice to know that you can train with your hands bound. Again, I would advise you to not train blindfolded. It's bullshit, but you know, if you want to keep that shit for the movies, I'll show you why it's bullshit. It is bullshit. Just want to put that out there. And don't worry, we are going back to bound training. Gonna put these back on. So if I can do this before the time runs out. Okay. The fact that the central air is playing is distracting my hearing. So I can't hear anything. So I can't see anything and I can't hear anything. I can only hear that fucking air conditioner. Alright? That's a problem. In a silent room, I gotta fight a chance because I'm listening for the breathing of my opponent. So unless they hold their breath, those are options. This is not an option. I am probably not gonna land facing you, so when I land, I'm taking this damn blindfold off. Oh, shit, I landed facing you. Again, save that shit for the movies. In real life, you're dead. D-E-A-D, dead. Yeah, I'm not going to teach you something that's going to get you hurt. Although, I literally just taught you some shit that's going to get you hurt. But I've also been doing this since I was 7 years old. So I've honed in my craft well enough to know there are some things in this shit that's going to get you hurt. So in the third video, we'll go back to bound fighting in the front. I just want to finish this off with some very important lessons. 1, martial arts is not a game. 2, if you're going to learn martial arts, it doesn't stop when the dojo cut off. It doesn't stop when the lights cut off in the dojo. When you go home, put in that fucking work. Because otherwise, you're just exercising. I'm 51. I haven't been able to do this in a while because of weather and because of the book that I'm writing called Sundown. Almost done. My other book, American Code of Weech, is about to drop soon. I just talked to the publisher 2 days ago. So all they have to do is find the cover, and then we're good as gold. And I'm going to approve everything on the cover when they bring the new cover in. The old cover has a family. The new cover is going to have a war bonnet, a tomahawk, and a katana if they can find it. If not, it's just really going to have a war bonnet and a katana. There it is. Hopefully you guys got that. Oh, come on. Okay. Copy. Alright. Don't worry, you guys get the whole shit, so it doesn't really matter, except for the fact that you're not going to get it unless you follow me on TikTok. Yeah, she's hot. Oh, come on. Got me away from the hot chick, unfortunately. Oh, come on. Phone's tripping, y'all. And of course, it's not recording. Fucking A. Still not recording. Come on. Ah, there we go. I think. Are you recording? Are you? That's workout sweat right there. Okay. Finally. Okay, TikTokers. This is for educational purposes. I'll send warnings, not invitations. Please do not attempt. We are now going to do pound fighting my hands in the front. And the only reason why I did this way, so that you guys could get 3 videos, and that I could show a little bit more. Alright, so I left off a kick because I no longer think my body can do it. So the butterfly kick with your hands bound, also a negative. We're not going to go through the cycle of showing you the kicks not to do with your hands bound, because for that, you can go back to watch video 1 or video 2, provided they are posted at this point that you are watching this video. Now, with your hands bound, as I told you in video 1 or video 2, whichever one I started it in, we're going to go over the do's and don'ts. So we're going to do the don'ts again, minus the kicks. Okay, we're going to do the kicks, just because I need to be a dick. Alright? So, again, you know, the kicks you're not going to do. Jumping spinning back kick. Alright? You're not going to do a reverse tornado kick. Okay? And you're not going to do a regular tornado kick. And if I fall, make sure this goes viral, you're not going to do a butterfly kick. Okay? And yes, I am 51 with a hip replacement, which is why I probably shouldn't be doing this shit. So now that you have the kicks you're not going to do, those 4 are critical. And remember that the butterfly kick is basically an escape. The tornado kick, both of them are finishers. Same with the jumping spinning back kick. Now, good news, your hands are in front of you. So, high right, medium with knee, low. High left, medium with knee, low. So those are your blocking postures. You also have to learn how to make sure that both your hands are working as a cohesive unit. Okay? So if someone's coming at you, block, boom. Or they're coming to this side, block, boom. Now, I should have mentioned this, and I didn't, so I do apologize. I do more Kung Fu versus Karate, but both styles are incorporated, and also Taekwondo and Kempo. Those are my main focus styles, but mostly Kung Fu and Kempo. Okay? They tend to work better, and you'll figure out what works for you. Yes, I have dabbled in capoeira, which is also how this came into training. Now, in traditional capoeira, way back in the day, they fought in chains. So if your maestre doesn't know that, you should probably tell him he should probably do some research. But the slaves fought in chains. They had their hands and their feet bound, which is what limited them to certain ranges of motion. Now that you got your free capoeira lesson, I am not going to do this. All right? So, but yeah, the initial slaves fought with their hands bound. They also put coded messages in the moves. So, you know, you get that. Go to an actual capoeira teacher to give you what you actually need to know versus your little tiny history lesson. Now, in the event that someone is blocking, or throwing a punch rather, and you go this way for Kung Fu, you can pull them and turn a knee, and then an elbow, and then a back fist. Now, you're going to do the exact same shit with a switch up from turning it from Kung Fu to Karate. All right? So you block, you pull, you knee, then you punch. Because Karate works more on that strength with that torque, where Kung Fu works more on directness. All right? The other day I made a video, I misspoke and said it works on finesse. It works on directness. A direct blow from Kung Fu is a little bit more safer than a strengthful blow from Karate. Especially for people who are 5'3" and have no upper body strength, like this guy. All right? So I rely on my knowledge of the human body from Kempo also. Pressure points do work if you actually get the time to actually use them. So that's the whole point of fighting. You actually have to have your game plan in your head and then out of your head at the same time. Because fights are unpredictable and you don't know what the person that you are fighting is capable of until the first punch is thrown. Now, if you're lucky, you can receive that hit and keep going. If you're not lucky, sleepy sleep time. We don't want to be on the sleepy sleep side. So, guys throwing a punch, boom, boom, Kung Fu. Boom, boom, Karate. Alright? Kung Fu would have been block, boom, and strike. Alright? So, did you understand? Kung Fu, block, strike. Karate, block, counter. Alright? I get a lot of smoke from people because I shouldn't be combining the arts. And to those people who come on Martial Talk or give me a hard time, hey, we can field test it. I won't be held responsible for what happens next. Okay? And it's 7:47 on a Saturday night. Number 7:47 on a midnight ride along move. Playing in a traveling band. Oh, yeah, sorry. Anyway, for these, your options are a lot better. If the door's on the right, you can do an inside to outside crescent kick, kicking him to the right, because you're going to be able to follow through, because your hands, you can keep beating him until you get to the door. I would say play a safety, though, and do an outside to inside crescent kick. Boom! Boom. Now you got a side kick. You understand? Now you can go to the door because you've hit him twice. All right? He's running at you, block, boom, boom, boom. You done hit him about 4 times. He's down. Your job is to get the fuck out of Dodge. Not to stand there and stand over your work, because if this guy gets up, you're fucked. So, again, block, knee, elbow, back fist down, and then get out. Kung Fu. Now we're going to switch up the game. It's got to start with Kung Fu, change to Karate. Block, Kung Fu, knee, Kung Fu, elbow, Kung Fu. Right? So now we're going to change it. Block, knee, fist, Karate. All right? And when you fist, turn. So, you're going to probably grab this chain. Boom. Now, if you want to be nasty, you're already hitting him. So just jump on his back, put this in front of his neck, and put your knee in his back and just reel back. He passes out, you get the hell off of him, and you get the hell out of there. Do not continue to choke him. Once his body goes limp, he's done. Get out. Your important job in all of the videos that you are learning is to escape and get out. Or as Storm Shadow once said in G.I. Joe, the cartoon from the 80s, without hair in his mouth, he who fights and runs away lives to fight another day. Or the other quote was, the higher the climb, the further the fall. Or even the mightiest oak must bend to the winds of fate, which goes back to be like water. Now, for those who are left-handed, same concept. Block, boom, elbow, you're done. Kung Fu. Now, switch to Karate. Block, still Kung Fu right now, still Kung Fu, fist, which changed it to Karate. If you can learn how to combine more than one style and make it your own, you have a better chance of fucking winning a fight. Now don't get cocky. Never get cocky. Be confident, but not overconfident. Do not underestimate your opponent. Learn the rules of survival before you get hurt. And before you attempt anything that you saw tonight, you need to have formal, actual training. Do not go outside and say you saw Echo Fang Grey Wolf or James Williams Jr., a.k.a. Echo Fang Grey Wolf, or for TikTok, EFG, which stands for Echo Fang Grey Wolf, show you some shit that just because it works for me doesn't mean it's going to work for you. But there's a legitimate reason why it works for me. It's because I've been doing it since I was 7. Is it foul-proof? Nothing is foul-proof. Everything can have a foul or a fault, and then you'll be a damn fool while you're getting the crap beat out of you. You want training. The younger you start, the better you get. The older you start, there's no telling how good you will get. It's just that the younger you start, the better your body adapts. So if you start at 3 or 5 versus starting at 7 like I did, you're going to be way ahead of the game by the time you're fucking 32. In fact, you're going to be way ahead of the game by the time you're 15, 16. If you are taught properly and if they teach you real martial arts. Also, if they don't sugarcoat it, water it down, and teach you shit that, this is just a filler, this is exercise. No. You got to also understand that martial arts has to be a way of life for you. It can't just be something you go do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and when the lights cut off, you go home and don't think 2 shits about this shit. Now, you got to eat, breathe, and sleep it, yes, but not in a literal fashion. I didn't do it in a literal fashion, but I only really do Kung Fu. It's the only thing in my life that has never betrayed me, never let me down, never walked away. Video just ended for TikTok. So I'm going to give them a bonus video. 3A. Okay. Select all. Done. Okay. I'm going to go get in the shower now because it's like 11 after 11. Okay, TikTokers, I'm long-winded, so this is technically 4, but it's going to be titled Part 3B because I like odd numbers. So when I left off, and this will basically just be a talking video, so if you don't want to watch this part, then that's cool. But understand something, if you don't watch this part and you miss something, that shit's on you, not me. The thing with being taught a martial art and eating, breathing, and sleeping it is that once it becomes a part of you, it never goes away. My martial arts has never let me down, and it's always been there for me come hell or high water. Now, there are things that I showed you that will only work for me. I have a 70-30 policy. 30% of what you learn in the dojo will work outside the dojo. 70% of what you learn in the dojo will only work in the dojo. I am the anomaly. Everything that I learned in the dojo correlates with everything I learned on the street from fighting in the street since I was 6. And experience will always be your main teacher. There will be things that your teacher will teach you that will never fucking work for you. Let me repeat that for those in the back. There will be things that your teacher will teach you that will never work for you. And in that being the case, you need to be the master of adaptation. If you can't adapt in a fight or in training, you will get stomped. This is not me being nice. This is me dropping you the 150,000% of the truth that you're going to need to know. You see a lot of people in movies fighting with things like this. Yes, they can work. No, you're not going to be fast enough or have the time to be Jackie Chan. Especially if you started late in the game. You started at 13, you're going to have to work harder to get faster. But if you started at like fucking 3 to 5, like Asian prodigies do, by the time they hit 3 to 14, they're already 4 or 5 times faster than the average kid. And then there's cardio. You need cardio. Cardio, if you can breathe or know when to hold your breath or when to exhale, you got a better chance of actually walking through a fight without getting your ass completely, totally annihilated. But if you can't, then, to be frank, you're fucked. Now, a lot of people are going to come at me for that, but I would rather you hate me for the truth than find out when you're sitting in a hospital bed, well, he said this. Yeah, I did. Either you fucked up because you stopped practicing and stopped training, and then you automatically tried to pick a fight with somebody who was a lot better. All right? I mean, first and foremost, martial arts isn't about you going to pick fights with people who can probably whip your ass without trying. If you're dumb enough to do that, you kind of deserve what you get, and I have no fucks to give you. You may not like me for that, but it's better that I tell you the truth now than you wake up with your fucking face looking like a jigsaw puzzle. Alright? The things that people don't tell you is the things that you learn the hard way, which is why I say experience will always be your best teacher. Again, don't go putting yourself in situations that you can't get out of. Anybody can talk their way into a fight. Not everybody can fight their way out of what they talk themselves into. Sometimes you piss off the right people, and they're not going to back the fuck down. As for this, instead of trying to fight somebody and lock it up around their wrist and do some shit, the best thing I can tell you, this is the only option that counts. Put a knot in this bitch. This is a slip knot so I can get it back out. Now you have a weapon. You know, when people go around doing this, stinging people, now you have a modified nunchuck. So, boom, boom. If you want to get nasty, spit on it, get it wet, and then hit whoever the hell with it, you know. Now, a lot of people are going to be mad that I showed you that. A lot of people are going to be mad that I taught you that. It's better me teach you that than to sit back and try to teach you this shit right here, where I am completely blindfolded, and I'm going to attempt to pull off another jumping, spinning back kick, which is definitely not safe because you're blind on takeoff and you're blind on landing. And if I fall, please make this go viral. understand you're not going to see your opponent. He's going to see you because he's not blindfolded. You get up in the air, boom. Gravity's not your friend. If you ever have to get into a fight, you want to keep that shit basic. Remember Walker, Texas Ranger, how Chuck always only did 3 kicks? Because that's more realistic. You know? Boom. 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 You know? And maybe every now and again you see him go, boom. Boom. You know? Because those are safer. Alright? You don't want to do some shit that you seen the Paul Mitchell team do in a real fight. You're going to miss. And if you miss, you're going to get a knuckle massage, a knuckle sandwich, and maybe you're not going to have any teeth. That's on you, because your experience will always be your teacher. Keep that shit simple, man. Especially if you don't have a whole lot of skill set. Push kick, side kick. Boom. 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 Same thing. Boom. Boom. And oh yeah, I left off the axe kick. You know, keep it simple. Because simple's going to save your ass. This shit here, he goes low. You have no more children. So if you haven't had children, and he Van Damme's the shit out of you, that's on you. You know? Good choreographing for fighting for movies, great. Not in real life. In real life, you want that shit as simple as fast as you can. And to be honest, because people don't like honesty, most fights don't last more than 3 to 5 minutes. UFC is different because you're paid to go the distance. The longer you can stay in there, the longer your paycheck is going to be exciting because people are going to want to see you put up a good fight. Downside, you get cauliflower ear. I don't have that because the UFC wouldn't give me a job when I was 19 because I only weighed 125 pounds. And they refused and refused. And then, when I get in the military, now they have 125 pounders. I am 5'3" and 143 pounds as I think the last time I got weighed. I lost a few pounds because I think I might have been 146. I'm not going to swear to that because I don't have the record on me. But I have to get down to 135. And no one's going to let a 52-year-old, soon to be 52, get in a fucking ring who's had a hip replacement and in dire need of a second one really fucking soon. So there's that. And I know everything that you just saw on video 1, 2, and 3A, you're probably going to be like, you had a hip replacement? Oh yeah, hip replacement. Left ass cheek. You know, Kung Fu is my life. When I had my hip replacement, I couldn't do Kung Fu for over a year and 8 months. And in between that, I lost my father. He crashed my car. So, there was that. I don't know what the fuck that was. We're just looking. I know y'all heard it. I'm not scared, but I'm being really cautious right now. Anything comes over that gate while the video is still going, it's going to be caught on video. But I don't think that I have too much to worry about. Yeah. I also would have did short sticks because that's one of the, or chobos. It's one of the Korean weapons that I was taught to work along with the bow staff. I have a whole bunch of bamboo over there that I need to turn into weapons, but I'm going to attempt to get my bro to look at grinding a rock down and to see if I can make a tomahawk. Anyway, that being said, do not attempt anything that you've seen tonight on the TikTok app. And I'm sorry if you're following me on YouTube, you won't be seeing this video before Sunday or Monday, depending, because I did Monologue Monday on this thing. But, you know, if you're going to train, man, train for real. Train hard. And don't stop. When you're done with the dojo, you're not done training. keep going. Keep going. This is not a sport for fun. It is a way of life for me. If you do it as a sport, I ain't knocking you, especially if you can get paid. No one gave me the chance to do that, which is why none of you know who the fuck I am. But you just seen what I can do in video 1, 2, and 3A, and you seen what we can do in 3B, which means basically you seen me talk a lot. You heard some strange animal, and you seen me grab this practice comma. I can still use practice weapons as lethal ordnance. A lot of people can't say that because a lot of people do stuff for show. I was going to do that, but I thought I was going to miss. Anyway, thank you for watching.